The story of Crazy Joe was torn from yesterday's headlines, and it's as terrifying as tomorrow's.
Good morning, it's Crazy Joe, coming to you from the Ben Franklin Bridge in Philadelphia, and we are going to go up on the walkway and take a look at the Ben Franklin Bridge, because today we're doing Shazam! Fury of the Gods! Filming locations. Let's go take a look at the Ben Franklin Bridge. Let's get crazy. We are on the walkway of the Ben Franklin Bridge. We're going to check this out, because today we're looking at the filming locations from Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Check out the view from up here. Look at that. Up pretty high. There's a train. So the movie Shazam! Fury of the Gods opens with Billy and the Marvel family finding out that the Ben Franklin Bridge is going to collapse. So they fly here to save the bridge. Doesn't go so well. It earns them the nickname the Philadelphia Fiascos. It all happens right here. The opening action sequence of the movie is them right here on the bridge, trying to stop the bridge from collapsing. Billy Batson as Shazam saves a car that is going to fall into the water. It's going to fall into the water there. And as he saves the woman, she's listening to the classic 80s tune, Holding Out for a Hero. And Billy says, "No way! You're listening to this song while I'm saving you?" So her car would have gone off the road and been about to go into the water. Billy saved her. There you go. Ben Franklin Bridge, Philadelphia. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is easily one of my favorite films of 2023. I've seen it about 5 times now. So today we're going to be checking out several of the filming locations from that movie. Now, one thing that's interesting to note, the actors were never here on the Ben Franklin Bridge. The bridge was in the movie. They sent an effects team to get footage of the bridge, but the actors were all put in post in green screen, so they were not actually here on the bridge, but the bridge was in the movie because they sent people to get footage, and then it was composited later using special effects. So this is a legitimate filming location, even though the actors were not here. But if we want to go to the places where the actors were, I'm afraid we're going to have to go to Atlanta, Georgia, where the bulk of the movie was shot. So let's go. Let's go to Atlanta. Shazam! And now we are in Atlanta, and we are at Woods Chapel Hill Barbecue. If you look at this place, it might look familiar. This is the spot where Shazam met Helen Mirren for cheesesteaks. They sat, I think, at that table right there, and that was the scene where Shazam was like, I've seen all the Fast and the Furious movies, lady. It's all about family. It was a cheesesteak place in the restaurant. It's actually a barbecue place, and it's not in Philadelphia. It's in Atlanta, but here we are. This is the spot right here. That wall was different. It said like Sam's Cheesesteaks on it, and I believe it was that second booth there was where Zachary Levi and Helen Mirren were sitting, right here. That's where it would have said Sam's. I think it was Sam's Cheesesteaks, but it's actually Woods Chapel Barbecue. That's where they were sitting, right there. In the movie, you can see these buildings in the back. You can actually see that gold bird there. You can see that gold bird in the shot. And that building next to it, that grayish building, they put the words Fish Market up there. They weren't originally there. So it looks like the seats have moved, because the seat, in the way the shot was, it would have been more centralized. So this would have been roughly where Zachary Levi was sitting. And then a guy on the street walked by and said, he would have been right around there, said, "Yo, low voltage, what are you doing to fix this situation?" And he says, "I got a plan." And he goes, "Looks like you're having cheesesteaks." And then the guy calls him Colonel Cheesesteak. And Zachary Levi's like, I really need to come up with a name. And when he turns around, Helen Mirren's sitting right across from him. And then they have a conversation. And that's the scene where he says, "I've seen all the Fast and the Furious movies, lady, and it's all about family." And he's expecting his family to show up, and they don't show up. And then he says it again. He says, "Family, that's your cue." That was right here. And then a fight emerges in the streets behind him. So these are the buildings you see behind Zachary Levi. You can definitely see the outline of this bird right here. And this building here, they put the words fish market up there. It's not actually a fish market. So they tried to redress this, but you can see that bird behind Zachary Levi. Now, I got to tell you, it's called Sam's Cheesesteaks or something like that in the movie. It's actually Woods Chapel Barbecue, and it's fantastic. I just had dinner here. I had ribs. The cornbread is amazing. Hey, take a look at the menu here. A little look at the menu. I had the ribs. The cornbread's great. My wife had one of the sandwiches. She had the brisket grilled cheese. My one daughter had the nachos. Everybody, the whole family was crazy about the cornbread. The cornbread was amazing. So if you are in Atlanta, please make it a point to come to Woods Chapel Barbecue. It's not a cheesesteak place like it was in the movie, but it's still worth your time. We are now on the roof of the 221 Peachtree parking garage. This parking garage here, this is where the family, the Marvel family, they've all been zapped of their powers except Shazam. Billy Batson's the only one of the Shazam family who still has his powers. And his parents, his adoptive parents, they get the van, they all drive up here. You can clearly see these buildings in the background of the shot. The Westin Tower is very visible. I'm having trouble matching up the shot exactly, maybe because of the camera I'm using, because you could definitely see the Westin in the background and you could see these brown buildings. But as you can see, I'm having trouble getting them into a frame where you can visibly see me and the towers. So I'm not quite sure exactly where they were standing over here that they managed to get all those buildings in the backdrop. By the way, this apartment building here, this grayish building, that is very visible in a couple scenes in that part of the movie. But got a helicopter up here. So yeah, so the Marvel family, sans powers except Billy, come up to this garage and they're kind of looking out over the city. Again, this is Atlanta, but it was Philadelphia in the movie. And they did digitally put a lot of the Philadelphia skyline into the movie. But they were watching the damage that Lucy Liu was doing on her dragon. She had a dragon. She was flying around, kind of causing havoc. And Shazam came up here with the family. And Billy was like, this is my fault. That's kind of the, maybe it's, that kind of looks like the Westin Tower, but it's a lot shorter. Maybe that's what you see in the movie. But this might be the shot. This might be the shot right around here. That's just about it. And you can clearly see these yellow lines. It's very interesting. I did a Google Earth to try to find this parking garage, and there's a lot of parking garages. You can see a parking garage over there and over there. But this is the only one that has these lines. So when you're doing a Google Earth view from above, it makes it very easy to spot this garage. Plus the buildings in the background are unmistakable. This is the parking garage where Shazam and the Marvel family kind of regrouped. There was a very emotional scene up here on this parking garage where up to this point in the movie, Billy was not calling his adoptive mother Mom. he was not referring to her as mom, but she says to him, "Can I see you as Billy, please, before this happens?" And he Shazams back into Billy, and he calls her mom for the first time. And that happens right here on this parking garage. So this is a pretty pivotal part in the movie. It takes place right up here. It's kind of, having seen this movie like 5 or 6 times in less than a year, because the movie only opened in March. It's August. And the movie only opened in March. So in a very short period of time, I've seen that movie like 5 times. Really love that movie. And this is a pivotal moment in the movie, right up here on this parking garage. The scene where Billy calls her mom for the first time. So everybody was up here, the Marvel family, Anathea, and the wizard Shazam. They were all up here together. So there you go. Let's go check out a couple more sites. But I gotta tell you, this is a good one. This is one of the ones I'm most excited to see and to be standing on. And you know what's really amazing? I come here for Dragon Con every year. There's the Hilton, and there's the Marriott. Those are 2 of the key hotels where Dragon Con's held. This scene was shot like walking distance of both of those hotels. In fact, today I'm staying at the Hilton. You can actually see this rooftop from the window. So here we go. The parking garage. This is not the only parking garage we're going to be visiting, by the way. There's another parking garage that plays an important part in the movie. We're going to check that one out too. But there you go. Look at it. The parking garage from the end of Shazam, where he calls his mother Mom for the first time. All right, let's go check out another one. I'm really excited to be here. This is super cool. Behind me, you will see the Courtyard by Marriott sign. This street right here, right in front of the Courtyard, is where the first pod hatched when Lucy Liu planted the apple in Citizens Bank Park, and all the mythical creatures started growing from pods. The first pod opened right here, outside this Courtyard sign. This is where it started. And then the mythical creatures were all over the city. But the first pod was right there, right in the street. And there was a woman running from the pod, and then it opened. That's the spot. We're coming up on one of the spots I'm most excited about, but it looks a little bit different than it did in the movie. This is the spot. Let me show you what's right in front of me, because it doesn't look the same as it did in the movie, just as what's right behind me does not look as the same as it did in the movie. As you can see, this parking garage entrance has been sealed off. I mean, you can see a seam there. This does, or at least at one time did, open up. It looks like it's been sealed, but this spot right here, this entryway that has been sealed, this is the spot where Darla and the kids found the unicorns hatching from pods. They were hatching in there, and Darla and the other kids stood, and the wizard Shazam stood where I'm standing. And the backdrop, you can see this backdrop looks very, very different now. There was graffiti here. They painted these doors. These doors were, I think, blue in the movie. You can clearly see this door in the movie behind Darla and the other kids. In the movie, I believe it's blue. I was just checking the reference shot yesterday. My old man memory, you think I remember. And you could definitely see this railing in some of the shots, and definitely the posts. But Darla and the wizard and the other kids stood right here on the corner of Williams and Cone, and Darla had her Skittles, which she said were the closest thing to ambrosia we had, and she threw them and said, "Taste the rainbow." And the unicorn came out of there, ate the Skittles, and then let out a call, let out this, big like, "Rrr," and the other unicorns came down this alley to join them, and then they drove off on unicorn back. But this is the spot. This is where the unicorns came down. This is where the first unicorn emerged. They stood right here through the Skittles, and this is an active street. I have to keep moving for cars, but it's not that busy actually. This is one of the key spots I wanted to find, the spot where they found the unicorns. The unicorns came right down this alley, and that is where they emerged from. Pretty exciting, if you ask me. Unicorns. Darla says to the wizard, "I love unicorns." And the wizard says, "Yet, the unicorn does not love you." Great moment in the movie. Okay, we're outside the Dunkin' Donuts now, where this was the spot where Lucy Liu on Dragonback shot Shazam out of the sky. She fired the dragon, fired fire at him, and he landed right here outside this Dunkin' Donuts. He kind of like slid across the ground here outside the Dunkin' Donuts, and it was right around here, and you can actually see this basket in the movie. But Michael Gray, the star of the Shazam TV series, was standing right here, and he said, "You're the best, Captain Marvel." Now they had it dressed up that there was a newsstand right here. There obviously is not really a newsstand, but in the movie there was a newsstand right there. But this Dunkin' Donuts, this is the spot where Shazam fell out of the sky. And you could see in the movie, that building right there, that's where Lucy Liu was on the dragon. She was right in front of that building. And she fired that shot, knocked him out of the sky. And as the fight continued, a car actually flew up and hit the Dunkin' Donuts. That Dunkin' Donuts in the movie got destroyed because a car flew up and hit the building. It's all make-believe. The Dunkin' Donuts is fine. That's what happened in the movie. And something else I'd like to show you, but this is a busy street. The question is, can I get into the street without getting hit by a car? Obviously, no cars are coming from this way, but one could turn. All right, we're going to try to do this. If you look, there is a sign behind me there that says Rialto. You can see that sign behind Shazam when he's fighting off against the dragon. However, they've altered the sign in the movie. In the movie, it does not say Rialto. It says Fulci. But it's the same sign. So that fight with Lucy Liu and the dragon happened right here. Michael Gray stood right there, said, "You're the best, Captain Marvel." Nice little cameo from the star of the TV series. There you go. Great little spot. Got one more before we Shazam ourselves back to Philadelphia. Incidentally, this intersection here is on William Street. If you watch Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, a lot of those shows like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and C-Lab 2021, they were made by a company called William Street, and that's because it was located right here. That's just a little side note. All right, one last spot before we Shazam ourselves back to Philadelphia. These steps right here, this building. Apparently this building is a library, but in the movie, Anathea is on the rooftop battling her sisters, and Lucy Liu is about to zap her and take away her powers, and she uses her manipulation power to move herself, and she materializes outside of this building. And she stands outside this building for a minute, thinks she's safe, and then Lucy Liu zaps her. And she flies backwards, and you can see her land right here around these steps. So there you go. That is going to be our last location here in Atlanta. But with the power of Shazam, we're going to Shazam ourselves back to Philadelphia for one last filming location. And look at this. We're back at the courtyard where the first pod opened. All right, let's go back to Philadelphia. Shazam! And we're back in Philadelphia, and we're outside Citizens Bank. inside and check it out. All right. Look at this. We are inside Citizens Bank Park for the first time ever. We are inside. Here we go. That's the field. So I guess we'll get up a little higher and see this from above. So there's the big screen. It's the Citizens Bank Park logo underneath it. And there is the field. This is where Lucy Liu had the apple and she landed on her dragon in the middle of this field. She planted the apple and the tree grew, and that tree is where all the mythical beasts came from. It was right there. Now, like the Ben Franklin Bridge, they sent a crew here to take pictures of the stadium. So they were here, they did film the stadium, but Lucy Liu and the dragon and everything was added. Now, spoiler alert, the dragon was not really here. That may come as a surprise, but there was not actually a dragon in the middle of the park. And yeah, it was all special effects done on a green screen in Atlanta. They put Lucy Liu in here, and she planted the tree, planted the apple, right here in the middle of Citizens Bank Park. And we're here about an hour before game time, so it's still pretty empty. But there you go. This mural up here of the Philly Fanatic. What is that? It looks like it might be like some kind of game. There's like rock climbing wall, I'm told. There you go. Look at that. This was not in the movie. This was not in the movie, but it's pretty exciting nonetheless. Oh, look at that. It's a cardboard standee of the Philly Fanatic and a pig. I mean, that's what you want to see. Look at that. I'm excited. Look at that giant wiener. There's a giant wiener over there. It's a statue of the Richie Ashburn, who is known as the man who hangs around in these parts. That's what they call him here. The man who hangs around. Here's a Phillies pee made out of Yingling cans. Look at that. Imagine you drank all that Yingling. If you drank that much Yingling, you know where you'd end up? Over here. Yeah, that's where that leads you. That much drinking leads directly to the toilet. And that's why it's appropriate that this is right next to the toilet. Hanging out with a bunch of weird mascots here. Look at this guy. You can't see him. He's jumping on his head. What the heck? There's a couple more too. But this guy, Sid here, is on his head.
That's my wife.
Section 302 of the stadium. Have a beautiful view of the Philadelphia skyline at dusk. There's the field. Right down there. That's where all the trouble started. Wow, that's the Philly captain! Here we are! Citizens Bank Park. Oh! Home run, Phillies! Yeah! Gods filming video. We've been to Philadelphia, we've been to Atlanta, we've been to all the places where they shot one of the greatest superhero movies of 2023. So thanks for joining me, and like and subscribe. If you like what you see, tell a friend. We'll get crazy in the future, and keep wearing those pajamas.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander Adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. I know we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.